was a blow to the show, a blow to me personally, because I'm gonna miss him. But it was not a surprise. Mr. Shannon Sharpe, who announced yesterday that he would be stepping away from ESPN. As you may recall, a lawsuit was filed against Shannon on Sunday by a woman using the name Jane Doe.
This is a shakedown. I'm gonna be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup.
In my perfect world, he moves on. And somehow, some way, we find this all to be false. But it doesn't seem like that's the way things are about to go down, considering who Mr. Busby is.
Stephen A. Smith is living it up right now, because Shannon Sharpe just dropped the biggest bag of his entire career. Word around the block says ESPN already cut him loose. And get this, some insiders insist he's not just out forever, but maybe blacklisted from ever stepping on that set again. Why? Well, 3 more women have now accused Shannon of some extremely disturbing behavior. And honestly, it's looking worse by the minute. And guess what? The sympathy scale is sitting at absolute 0. Fans are roasting him non-stop online, saying this is nothing but karma clapping back with force. This isn't your typical scandal. This one's flat out disgusting. So here's the lowdown in case you've been hiding under a rock. Shannon was out here throwing stacks at an OnlyFans chick. A girl so young, folks say she could have been his granddaughter. He thought he was running the show, but she turned it all around and played him like a fiddle. But the madness didn't stop with the money. Shannon allegedly got tangled in some disturbing race play, role play that had the internet totally disgusted.
You sharing text messages, that's just sharing too much. We didn't want to hear about nobody getting hogtied in your bedroom and your salad getting tossed while you wearing a collar. It's too much.
And I'm scrolling, minding my business, and I see a deluge of text messages that he released from this girl that are weird and with an obvious race fetish. And it's not just her with the race fetish. He obviously was turned on by these conversations as well. And he only released what she was saying. Put a big black baby in me. Oh my gosh, I can't believe. I wouldn't be surprised if she was calling him the N-word during coitus. He's into that. And if this man is turned on sexually by being racialized in such a weird way.
And just one more thing about sorry with Shannon.
And if that wasn't enough, the receipts dropped. Texts, voice notes, all exposing Shannon saying crazy things, even talking about choking this woman out in public. Like, what is happening here?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah, I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you do what you did to me.
It was uncomfortable to listen to, and it was not something that Walt Disney once associated with its brand. So to have him on the airwaves while all of that stuff was put out there was not something that Disney was going to take.
It's official. Shannon Sharpe's image is destroyed. And check this, Shannon himself reportedly admitted he tried sliding millions in hush money to his accuser before the firestorm even blew up. He knew those skeletons were shaking loud in that closet, but the young woman he was wrapped up with, she was playing the long hustle, and now everything's spilled. Every reckless, messy move out in the open for all to see. Now, instead of support, people are clowning Shannon non-stop, including Stephen A. Smith, who's tossing shade without even caring to hide it.
A lot of people want to walk around thinking you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. You could your own operation. You don't have to answer to anybody. That's not true. I'd rather work for a place with standards than one looking for them. You know why? Because lines are drawn. And I never have to worry about crossing them because guess what? I've got something there reminding me, hold on. You don't need to do that. It's not a silo. I'm not by myself. Because when those lines are always there, you usually know it. And you usually make sure you don't cross it. Because the bigger picture is always staring in front of your face.
Folks can't believe this man is creeping up on 60 and still chasing OnlyFans girls like he's a 20-something. Like, seriously? Even legends like Cat Williams and Monique supposedly tried warning him. These young women will set you up if you're careless. But did Shannon listen? Nope. He laughed it off, thinking he was in full control. Now look at him. Millions gone, no TV deals left, and whatever shred of dignity he had vanished. And somewhere Stephen A is probably cracking up, even though he pretended to feel bad for Shannon in public. But let's keep it real. This story, it's just warming up. We haven't even gotten into the craziest parts yet. Shannon Sharpe lost that ESPN fortune, and right now, things are looking downright grim. Let's break it down. Because if you think ESPN is just another sports network, think again. ESPN is majority owned by none other than Disney. Yes, that Disney. The empire that sells itself on family values, fairy tales, and Mickey Mouse. So the second Shannon's chaos hit the spotlight, lawsuits, leaked receipts, and those disturbing race play accusations, Disney sprinted to push him far away from their brand. Now don't get it twisted. ESPN survived scandals before, but this one, way different. A lawsuit involving a 19-year-old OnlyFans model, plus those sickening race play messages. It was way too much for Disney to even attempt damage control. Shannon thought he could bury it, but when you mix race and alleged assault, that's not just messy, it's explosive PR. Then on April 24th, Shannon released a statement saying he was temporarily stepping away from ESPN. He even claimed he'd be back for NFL preseason, but don't buy it. Shannon made it sound like it was his idea. Turns out, that might be pure smoke. Insiders at ESPN reveal Shannon didn't walk away. He was pushed. They let him save face with a fake step back, but behind the scenes, they were finished. Sources now say Shannon's unofficially banned, and ESPN wants nothing tied to his name ever again. Now moving forward, Stephen A. Smith slid right into the mix. Stephen, who's not only a commentator but also a producer on First Take, went on air all serious, pretending to feel concern for Shannon. He gave this long speech about how it's unfortunate what Shannon's facing. But if you listen close, Stephen was basically giving a funeral speech for Shannon's career like it was already buried. And Stephen wasn't done. After the news dropped that Shannon was out, Stephen chimed in again, this time with sharper shade. He stressed how Disney doesn't play when it comes to protecting their image. According to him, once the brand stamps you a liability, it's over. No redemption, no return. Stephen even noted that Shannon dropping those texts from the OnlyFans model actually made things worse. Yup, instead of clearing his name, those receipts just handed Disney more ammo to end him completely. Then came the dagger. Stephen shaded Shannon for being reckless at his age, basically saying, how do you get caught slipping with a 19-year-old, tossing away your wealth, your reputation, and your future because you couldn't control yourself? It screamed downfall, and Stephen didn't hold back one bit. Stephen tried to play coy, saying he was speaking generally about people who think they're untouchable. But come on, everyone knew it was all about Shannon. That's exactly why nobody's cutting him slack. Fans say Shannon's way too old to act this clueless. He's always preaching old school wisdom, quoting his grandma like she's the oracle, but clearly, he didn't listen to a word she talked. And it wasn't just her trying to keep him straight. Remember when Cat Williams showed up on Club Shay Shay last year? Cat straight up warned Shannon that chasing white women could spark trouble. And now, looking back, that warning hit dead on. Because according to the lawsuit timeline, Shannon was already wrapped up with that OnlyFans girl when Cat dropped the caution. And it didn't end there. After Cat's clip blew up, Monique also pulled through on Club Shay Shay and basically begged Shannon to calm down, told him directly he needed to stick with someone closer to his age and stop chasing wild, huge age gaps. Man, looks like everybody saw this crash coming except Shannon. Now here's where it goes off the rails. There's a viral clip of Shannon saying he'd go to hell for $50 million. And guess what? His accuser, Gabriella Zuniga, just hit him with a $50 million lawsuit. You can't script this crazier. But let's be real, it ain't just the age difference fueling this chaos. The lawsuit and leaked texts Shannon himself released show this wasn't some basic sugar daddy thing. Shannon was paying for twisted, racially charged role play, and insiders say he specifically asked for it. Gabriella sounds like she was clocking in for a check, doing what he paid her to do. But somewhere, it got messy, real messy. Maybe she schemed from the start, or maybe Shannon ignored limits. Either way, it's painting him in the worst light possible. And here's why folks think Shannon was paying for fantasies. Because in those leaked texts, Gabriella said he was dropping $25,000 for each cheat. That's insane. And that's not even the craziest part. Gabriella's text included some disturbing lines, like saying she wanted him to put a, "yeah, you know where," and that she wanted to put her tongue in his, "yeah, we're stopping there." Clearly, this 19-year-old wasn't in it for love. This was a bag chase all along. She probably just followed orders for cash. And here's the shady part. Notice how Shannon only shared her messages, conveniently leaving his out. Fans caught on, saying she only sent that twisted stuff because Shannon demanded it from jump. Now, whether things were consensual from the start or spun out later, that's for the courts to decide. But one thing's certain, Shannon looks terrible in this mess, especially after Gabriella's lawyer, Tony Busby, dropped that bombshell audio. In it, Shannon literally threatens to choke her and says he'd do it in public. The whole thing is insane. Maybe it was role play gone way too far. But even if it was, Gabriella baited him into saying wild stuff on tape, and the worst part, he sounded all in on it. Even if she set him up with strange texts and bait, the fact it's recorded and now framed as non-consensual, that's a nightmare for Shannon. And fans, they're ruthless. They say Shannon dug his own grave. Like, how you nearly 60 messing with a teenager and think she won't flip it against you? That's not just careless, it's humiliating. The lack of self-control and basic awareness in this situation is unreal. And here's the kicker. Shannon tried flipping the script with the successful black man being targeted card. He even compared himself to Jay-Z, saying Tony Busby only attacks rich black men. But really, even if that had truth, fans aren't buying it. People are roasting Shannon, saying he can't play the race card, especially when he's the same one paying a white woman to degrade him in twisted racial role play. Like, how do you complain about racial targeting when you literally asked for it in your bedroom? And it's not stopping. Shannon even warned the public that Busby's about to leak a tape showing stereotypes about black men. But fans aren't letting that slide either. They say Shannon trapped himself. If those stereotypes show up, it's not because someone framed him, it's because he lived them out himself. He wrote the script, and now it's replaying on him loud and clear. He really went from paying a white woman to racially humiliate him to asking for pity as a black man unfairly targeted. Yeah, that flip isn't landing. Shannon's attempt to spin this as a cause is failing hard, and fans aren't falling for the sob story. Instead, social media is roasting him. Non-stop memes, endless clowning, all over this twisted scandal. And those texts Shannon released to control the story, they backfired. If anything, they made him look worse. Fans point out this ain't even his first wild scandal, and the victim act, not working. Everyone's saying, you did this to yourself, man, but now we want to hear what you think. Is Shannon really caught up in a setup, or did he create the downfall all alone? And about ESPN and Disney cutting him, was it the right call? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and share this video if you're locked in on the chaos. More updates are coming, so stay tuned. We'll catch you on the next one.